Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Cody, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I've been a fan of the Wnba for years. I did a Patreon last year. Wanted to get out into the YouTube space and help as many people as I can. So tonight, we're just going to go through all the rosters, give my thoughts on new faces and new places, people leaving, and what to expect. Because there's a lot of new faces in the league, a lot of new eyes on the league with the rookies coming in. But first, let's talk about Candace Parker retiring. It's a sad day for the WNBA. She's a pioneer. 2008 Rookie of the Year and MVP same year. Just exceptional talent. Really hate to see the injury take her out like it did, but I obviously wanted to talk about her before we get into this. But we'll start with the defending champs, back to back. The Aces, this team, you know what you're going to get. They have the big four. There's really not much that needs to be said. I really like the Gustafson pickup. I would have loved her off the bench, but now she's going to be starting. In my opinion, I think they start her over Stokes. They should. She offers so much more on the offensive side. The bench is the only downside to this team. Without Parker, it really hurts. I think they're hoping like a Bree Hartley can make the team. I like Bree Beal. She offers a lot on the defensive side. This team doesn't need scoring. You obviously have Asia Wilson, you have Jackie Young, you have Kelsey Plum, you have Chelsea Gray. All these girls are elite of the elite. They can provide all the scoring you need. Also, why I think someone like a Kate Martin could make this team. The bigs, they're gonna need another big off the bench. That's my worry, and I don't know who it's gonna be. I love Liz Kitley landing here. She's injured, gonna miss a season, so it's a good stash. I think this is one of the best spots for her to land and learn under Asia. I love that spot for her. Obviously, like Kirsten Bell, Sydney Colson, Kia Stokes, all these girls are going to make the team. They're stalwarts on this team. But I really think Kate Martin makes the squad. She's just someone that Becky Hammond loves in a player. She's going to play hard, never give up, great defender. I love that spot for her, and I actually think she makes the squad. They're the favorites to win it again for a reason. They gel so well together. An injury would decimate this team now with Parker retiring. So we need to keep an eye on that. But obviously, favorites for a reason. Not much to talk about. Hard team to make. Really hard team. There's not many spots available. But with Parker retiring, it does open up a spot. So we'll see what they do. The Liberty, obviously, the runner-up last year. They tried building the God Squad. I like this team, but like the Aces, the defense here is pretty lacking, and the bench is bad. It's just as bad as the Aces, if not worse. Obviously, you've got Stewie and Sabrina and JJ, Jonquil Jones. You've got Courtney Vandersloot. Yeah, she's older, but you're not asking her to do too much. You're asking her to facilitate, run the offense. Her defense has gotten worse over her career. But whatever. Kayla Thornton off the bench is a good piece. You got Benaja Laney, a really up and down, streaky shooter. Hard to trust, especially in DFS with the players that she has around her. I love the Ivana Docic pickup in free agency. I wish that Rebecca Gardner was going to play this season. She got hurt overseas. Is sitting the season out. She would have been. They ended up. I think they traded like 2 second-round picks for her. I thought it was one of the best pickups this offseason. Sad it didn't work out for them because she would have been a great bench piece. She's a great defender. This team just is really light, and their ceiling is not anywhere near what the Aces can offer. their floor, the bottom could drop out of this team if one of the starters goes down, especially if you're talking like Sabrina or a Stewie. One of those two goes down, this team could be in deep, deep trouble. The Mystics. This is a completely different team from what we're used to seeing. Elena Del Don is not on this team. She is sitting out the season, wants to be traded. She did not get the couple destinations that she wanted, so she's sitting out the season. I could still see a scenario where she might end up on the Aces. I just don't know what they would accept in a deal for the Aces. The Aces really don't have anything to offer the Mystics besides maybe some picks, and there's really no incentive to trade her. Lost Cloud. This team is completely different. They're kind of stuck in the purgatory of being kind of mid with some older players and some younger players. I'm really excited for another year of Shakira Austin. I think she's going to take another leap forward. Last year, she was playing well, then got hurt, missed the rest of the season. Obviously, if she's healthy, she could be in store for a great season. Atkins and Sykes are going to run the offense. They've already said Sykes is going to run the point. Both of them will be solid in DFS. I don't know. I just don't trust this team to keep a lot of games competitive. The league this year is the spreads are going to be so big because the good teams are good and then the bad teams are bad. It's really weird. You got Story Walker Kimbrough. She's okay. Carly Samuelson come over here from the Sparks. I mean, she's fine. Misha Hines Allen is older, but another player that's going to soak up some minutes. I like Queen Egbo. Leah Edwards was their first-round draft pick. This team won't have any problem rebounding the ball. Leah Edwards is an exceptional rebounder. Queen Egbo is a fantastic rebounder. They brought in Big Mama Steph Dolson. I don't know how she fits in on the team, but she's going to play some. It's going to be kind of weird. I'm anxious to see how some of the rotations turn out here. If I was running this team, I would run Shakira Austin into the ground. I think she has the most upside of anyone on this team. For the young ones, anyways. I mean, obviously, Atkins can get hot and score, and Sykes is a really good all-around player, but Austin is the one they need to build around, in my opinion. The Storm, here we go. This is a team that had the best offseason in the WNBA. They pushed all in. One offseason after losing Sue Bird and Brianna Stewart. Then you have a rough year, and you flip the switch and bring in Nneka Ogwumike and Skylar Diggins-Smith. That's a pretty great offseason. Those are two players that mesh perfectly together. I mean, that's a great 1-2 punch, but you're adding those two to a team that's already led by Joel Lloyd, one of the best shooters in the league. And you also have Ezi Magbagor. You got Dulcie. I have never been able to pronounce her name. I'm not even going to try. It's tough. I think they're going to bounce between Horston and Whitcomb as the fifth starter, depending on like matchups. They picked up Victoria Vivens. I think she's going to be a good player off the bench. Mercedes Russell is going to be there off the bench. Nika Mule is the rookie. I hope she makes the team. She just doesn't offer anything on offense. She's a great defender and a good ball handler, but her limitations on offense will probably keep her from getting very much meaningful playing time. You got Jade Melbourne. Don't know what to really think of her this year. This team is going to be boom or bust. I think they're going to blow out a lot of teams, and then they may play down to worse competition at times. They have some pure shooters on this team, and they can put the points up. But if they go cold, this team could flop any night. But there's a couple of these players that could win you a GPP at any time. Now we move on to the Atlanta Dream, who can push the Seattle Storm for best offseason. You obviously bring in Jordan Canada. They signed Tina Charles out of the blue. I thought she was done. I was really surprised at that. Canada did pick up an injury already, which is something to keep an eye on. They already brought in Destiny Henderson. We'll see if she makes the team. She's kind of bounced around a little bit. I'm really excited to see a sophomore season out of Haley Jones. They brought in Aerial Powers. I really like this squad. I love Alicia Gray. I'm a huge fan of Cheyenne Parker. I think she's a great player. And if they go big and run Parker at the 4 and Charles at the 5, like I think they will, Parker's going to ball out. She's going to get so many advantageous matchups. But the best player on this team, and one of the best players in the WNBA, is Ryan Howard. And I think she takes that next step up into superstardom. I just love the way she plays. She's got a smooth jumper. And if she gets hot, she can win a GPP by herself. She's done it for me before numerous times. Really excited to see her with more weapons around her, hopefully open her up to get more open shots. Really excited for this team. I think they have potential to be top 3 or top 4 seed. As for Minnesota, I like this team, but they made a couple moves. They didn't make enough moves, in my opinion. I feel like they're going to be floating around where they were last year, but I don't think it's going to be quite enough. The team will be fun to watch. You obviously have Fee. It's going to be the Fee show. You got Dorka, who played exceptionally well for a second-round pick last year, exceeded every expectation possible. Kayla McBride is another year older. She's a sharpshooter from 3. She's going to get her shots up no matter what. Really, really excited for Diamond Miller year 2. She's an exceptional talent, really versatile player. I think she's going to take a step forward and impress a lot. First-round pick, Alyssa Peely. She's fun. I'm excited to see people really get to watch her play. They bring in Alana Smith. Love that pickup because their defense was brutal last year, and she's an exceptional shot blocker. Has a lot of foul problems, but whatever. As long as she doesn't get in foul trouble when we want to play her, that's all that matters. They brought in Courtney Williams. She'll fit well on this team. They need shot creators and people that can facilitate. Courtney Williams can do both of those things. Really like this team. Like I said, I just don't have confidence in them. There's so many other teams that got a lot better. I just feel like they kind of stuck in the middle, and I don't know, outside of some unforeseen circumstances, I don't see this team making the playoffs. The Chicago Sky. Let's talk about this team. I'm going to start by saying I like Camila Cardoso. I really do. But she is a project player. She's huge. She's 6'7". She's going to come in, be a great rebounder, great shot blocker. But she has no offensive game besides post playing. They took her over Rakia Jackson, which really surprised me because Rakia has been pro ready ever since she stepped foot on the floor at Tennessee. Then they draft Angel Reese, another project forward. I get what they're doing. They're drafting players to build around. I like both the players. I'm just worried about their game evolving and growing at the WNBA level. I don't know how much they're going to be able to grow. And I just think the Cardoso pick was wrong. I mean, I hope I'm wrong because I like the Sky. I love the team that they're trying to build. But, man, for a team that needed guards, they drafted a project forward and a project center. I digress. They did pick up Trinity Carter. I mean, the girl can ball. She can play. She didn't play at all last year. She has major problems. She can't get along with coaches. She can't get along with teammates. She bounces from team to team. If she can get along with the coach, she's gonna be great in DFS. She can score and fill it up, and this team is gonna need some scoring. Diamond DeShields is here after missing all last season with an injury. Really excited to see her back. Dana Evans. Her game is kind of limited. We'll see kind of if she can take the next step up. I just don't know how many minutes she's going to get. Isabel Harrison is back. She missed all last season. Really interested to see her in this spot. She kind of got buried on the depth chart in Dallas. Really excited to see her hopefully get minutes, but they've got a lot of forwards. Mabry, she is going to be icing her shooting elbow every game. She might put up 20 shots a game. It's going to be ridiculous. They bring in Wnba and Brianna Turner in the deal that sent Kalia Copper to the Mercury. Still got Elizabeth Williams here. Lots of bigs. I don't know how the rotation's going to roll out. I'm anxious to see some preseason games and kind of see what they have planned. Obviously, they should just start Cardoso right away. I don't see any reason why she shouldn't be starting at the 5. I would really like to see Shindy Carter start alongside Mabry. They're going to need the scoring. Don't know. This team has a lot of question marks. I'm anxious to see how the preseason works and kind of go from there. The Sun. Biggest news for them is they're getting Brianna Jones back. Don't know. They said she's going to be back and ready for opening night. I'm sure she'll be on a minutes limit. They really need her to stay healthy if they want to do anything. I know her, Alyssa Thomas, and Wnba are all on 1-year deals. This could be the last ride for this team as we know it. AT, obviously, just triple-double machine. She's fantastic in DFS. You know what you're getting out of her. She's not exceptional on offense, but she makes up for it in blocks and steals and all of the peripheral stats that she piles up. They brought in Shea Petty. They brought in Tiffany Mitchell. They brought in Mariah Jefferson. They brought in Rachel Banham. They brought in so many guards because their guard play has been just god-awful the past few years. I'm really excited to see if DeJounte Carrington can take the next step and continue to get better like she has the past couple years. I hope she gets a chance to shine. But this team is going to run through AT, Brianna Jones, and DeWanna Bonner, and they'll go as far as those three can take them. That's the simple thing about this team is where everything's going to run through on this team. It's going to be the big three, and other people will pitch in. Now let's talk about the team everyone wants to talk about, the Indiana Fever. Obviously, the talk of the town is Caitlin Clark, number 1 overall pick, arguably the face of the league now. She's bringing so many eyes into the WNBA. It's awesome. I'm really happy. The game's growing. Big fan of Caitlin Clark as a whole. I do think she's going to have a learning curve. I really do. Obviously, the three-point shooting and her shooting in general will translate. She's an otherworldly shooter. Her passing will translate immediately. I believe she's a great passer. Her defense is a liability, and the physicality of what other teams are going to bring to her in the WNBA, it's gonna take some time to get used to. I just hope people understand that. I hope they don't just expect her to put up 25 shots a game and have triple-doubles every night. She has quality teammates around her now. She's not the only player on the floor that she has to shoot 30 times to win. Coming off that, Aaliyah Boston is going to be a superstar. Caitlin Clark-Landon here. The pick and roll potential with Aaliyah Boston and NaLyssa Smith is amazing. I've been a NaLyssa Smith truther. I've banged the drum for her. She has let me down a lot, but she has won me a lot of money as well, so I can't really complain. I'm really excited to see her take another leap. But Aaliyah Boston, I've sprinkled some MVP odds on Aaliyah Boston. I think she's going to dominate. She's going to get so many one-on-one opportunities now because teams won't be able to cheat off of her because their three-point shooting was dreadful last year. Now Clark will make teams be honest. Then they brought in Katie Lou, who didn't play last year. She was pregnant. She's a good 3-and-D player. Gives them even more three-point shooting. I think who Clark hurts the most is Kelsey Mitchell. If you've played WNBA DFS before, you know Mitchell is pretty much points or bust. She is scoring dependent, and that's just what she is. With Clark here, I think she is going to lose out on the most shots on the team. The bench here, though, is pretty nice. The forward spot is the only worry. They don't have a lot of forward depth. Obviously, Grace Berger is going to make this team. I don't know why people think she won't. She may not play a lot. I think she should. She's a good defender. She's a great passer. She makes everyone around her better. But, I mean, you're going to have Erica Wheeler off the bench. You're going to have Christy Wallace off the bench. There's Lexi Hull off the bench. There's just so many guards that are going to come off the bench. I don't think Grace is going to get a lot of playing time, but she will make the roster. I mean, she's Indiana through and through. Homegrown. They're not going to let her go. Moving on to the Mercury. The team that, another team that went all in this offseason. Traded for Kalia Copper. Signed Natasha Cloud in free agency. A move I'm not that crazy about after they signed Cloud first and then they traded for Copper. The Cloud signing doesn't look as good to me. I just don't think she's going to fit what this team's wanting to do. DT loves to bring the ball up the floor. If Natasha Cloud is not running the point, her impact just plummets if she's not bringing the ball up the floor because she's not going to go out and score 20. She's a excellent passer. She's a facilitator first, and now I just don't think she fits well on this squad. I love the Kalia Copper trade. She fits in anywhere. She's just an exceptional player. I love that they got Morgan Birch. I think she's going to play some off the bench. Beck Allen is a great 3-and-D player, just always undervalued. I don't know why more teams aren't in on her. She's what every team needs. I would have loved to see the Aces go out and get her. Obviously, you got BG and DT. They're the old vets, the old dogs out here. This is probably the last hurrah. I don't see DT playing another year after this, so this is it for them. Sadly, I just don't have enough confidence in this team to make a deep playoff run. This team is truly like starters and then a couple bench players. If something happens to BG and she goes down, they are super thin at bigs. They have no bigs. If you look at this squad, Bella she's probably going to make the team just because they don't have any other centers to back her up. I mean, you're looking at a couple rookies to choose from. Natasha Mack. I guess you could play Morgan Birch as your backup 5. I guess. I don't know. This team is truly going to struggle. I mean, they're already going to play small, running Natasha Cloud, DT, Sophie, Copper at the 4, and BG. If BG was to go down or have to sit for any stretch, they're going to really be hurting. Now let's talk about the Sparks. I'm really, really excited for this team. That's where I want to start. I am really, really excited to see how this team plays. Obviously, Julie Allman is hurt. She's going to miss the start of the season, as well as Azura Stevens. She's hurt. She's going to miss the start of the season. This team just needs to play their young kids. They're not going to be good, but they're headed in such a great direction. I love the draft. I'm a huge Cameron Brink fan. I think she's going to be exceptional in real life and in DFS. She's going to be an immediate plug-and-play player on FanDuel, especially where blocks get the bonus. I love Rickea Jackson's game. I think she's going to translate immediately to the WNBA. Wnba is the vet on the team. She's going to get her playing time. Another year as Zia Cook. You got Clarendon. You got Lexi Brown. Monique Billings landed here. Don't know how much she's going to really get to play. Don't think she's really needed much on this team. Same with Kia Nurse. You got Taylor Maxwell, Ari McDonald. This team is just, it has so many players that will need playing time. I just really hope they play Cameron Brink and Rickea Jackson a lot. Like, they should be blowout proof. They should be playing in a blowout or not, but both those girls need to be playing high 20s, low 30s minutes a game. Every game, you're not playing for anything. This team will not make the playoffs. I would bet my house on it. They're just too young and too inexperienced. Losing Nneka Gumake is really going to hurt. I'm anxious to see who's going to take over as the leader of this team. I just am really excited to see Brink and Rickea Jackson together and see what they can do. And finally, let's talk about the Dallas Wings. My dark horse to win the WNBA Finals. I love this team. I would have loved them a lot better before the Satu Sabali injury. It hurts. She's going to be out apparently until the Olympic break, which is killer. She's just such an elite talent. It's really going to hurt this team. I'm anxious to see kind of what they do. People forget that they drafted Stephanie Soares and Lou Lopez last year, and neither of them played a minute due to injuries. They obviously still have Maddie Segrist from last year. Hopefully she takes a leap this season. Obviously, exceptional scorer in college. We'll see what translates to the league. She may get more playing time with Satu out. Absolutely love the J.C. Sheldon draft pick. I think she could start day one on this team. She offers exceptional defense, but she offers so much more upside on both ends of the floor than Crystal Dangerfield and Veronica Burton. Neither of those guys moved the needle. They kept bouncing between the two of them last year, and it didn't really work out. Like, both of them, they never separated from each other. I think J.C. Sheldon can immediately separate from both of them, and she deserves to start, in my opinion, unless a catastrophe happens and she just bombs out in the few preseason games they play. Obviously, you got Arike Ogunbowale. She's exceptional shooter. If she gets hot, watch out. She can nuke any slate she's on. Tierra McCallum, as dominant as anyone in the league when she wants to. She can go cold and completely disappear at times, though, which is concerning. You got Natasha Howard, who, a lot like Tierra McCallum, can nuke at any time or completely disappear. She also has major foul concerns. She is a foul magnet. You got Kalani Brown coming off the bench. I mean, they have two girls that are 6'7", and then Stephanie Soares is 6'6". This is the biggest team in W, and I'm really excited for this team. I hope Satu can come back and injuries not as serious as they say. But if she comes back and is good, this team has the potential to beat anyone in the league. But that will do it for the roster by roster breakdown. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll be back in well, I guess less than 2 weeks, whenever pricing drops for both slates, I'll have not roster breakdowns. I'll have a DFS breakdown for DraftKings and FanDuel. We'll go through every team, go over pricing. I'll go through some of my favorite plays on the slate. If you like this video and want to see more, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, whatever you feel like doing. I appreciate you stopping by, and we'll see you for the next one.